Hey friends, this is Brian with Ky Woodsman. It's a rainy day outside and pretty cold. You can see your breath real well. And so I thought, well, I'd just go ahead and come into my shop and do a little workout here. I got my wood burn stove going and it's heated it up after about 20 minutes. It's nice and toasty in here. So I usually wait until winter time or on bad, wet days to do some inside work. And today I happen to be sharpening up my chainsaw blades that I used for cutting my firewood up this season. So I've got about 8 blades to sharpen, and I thought I'd go ahead and make a show and show you how I go about doing that. So stick with me here on the Ky Woodsman. Okay, so with this type of sharpener you have to remove your chain from your saw. So I went ahead and took it off, and it'll sharpen any length of chain. And what you want is you want your teeth facing forward on it. So we'll put it in this slot. Let me zoom in for you here. We'll put it in a slot right here, and it fits right into there. And then the neat thing about it, when you want to advance to your next one, you just turn. If you want to go back, you go back this way. So that comes in pretty handy. Here's your little stop, and what this stop does is it drops down behind the tooth that you're going to do. So it drops in behind the tooth, and what I do is I'll advance it until it drops, and then I back it right up to it, snug. And then this type of saw has a little handle grip like on your 10-speed bikes or whatever. When you squeeze it, you can see it locks onto the blade. And boy, I really like that. Some of them have where you turn this little dial and it'll lock on there. But this just comes in really handy. You don't have to sit there and turn it all the time. You just squeeze it when you're ready to come down with it. The teeth on this, at the angle I've got it set, I'm going to go every tooth that has this angle on it, it's a 30-degree angle, then I'm going to hit that with the saw coming down this way. And then what I'll do is I'll skip a tooth and then I'll do the next one on down. And I take off just as little as I possibly can take off because I want these to last a while. And boy, these things, when you get done, they're sharp. They're just like factory. I just take it real slow so as not to overheat the point. Little at a time. It looks like I'm taking off a lot, but I'm not. I'm just barely nicking it. And I go down until my stop stops it. Back up just to here. This sharpener has a little stop on the top of it, and it pops out right here. And it's just a little dial, and you can turn it on the back side and adjust the depth on it. Right here's the little knob. So you can go precise exactly to the depth that you want to sharpen, and then it's stopped there. And I tell you what, that is just as sharp as anything. So now, let me get you back in here again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to advance my chain 2 teeth, because the other one's in the opposite direction, right to there. I'm going to back it right up to there and squeeze it down. And then we'll hit this tooth. When you get done with this, in between each tooth there's something that they call the rakes. And what that controls is how deep this tooth can cut. And let me show you. I know some of y'all do this stuff all the time, but there's others who don't. So okay, so when I get ready to adjust the rakes, what I do, the rake is right before the tooth. It's just a little part that sticks up right before each tooth. And they make a little gauge that you can buy for your particular type of saw. And what it does is it drops down. These top parts here on each side rest on the top of the tooth. and the rake has to be just a tiny bit lower so that that tooth will dig in. The rake keeps it from digging in too much and taking off too much of a hunk and getting bound up. And what you want to do is you want to have your two teeth here, or right here and here, and then we're going to sharpen this rake right here. So we put it on each tooth, and right here in the center we just barely have a tip of the rake that's sticking up, and then it comes with a little file. It's a USA made file, so it's pretty good. And then you just file it until it doesn't want to file anymore, and it's even. And I don't know if you can see, but I barely took off just a little bit off that tip, and the reason is because I didn't take a whole lot off the front of the tooth of the saw. As you get down, as you wear your saw down and sharpen, this tooth is at a slant, and so slowly it's going to drop as you sharpen it. Well, what that's going to do is that's going to, as this drops, that's going to make your rake, if you don't file it off, be higher, until pretty soon this tooth's not going to cut at all because the rake will be even with it. So every time, or at least every couple times that you sharpen, you need to file that rake off, and that way the tooth is higher, and you're just not making sawdust when you cut. And that's one thing that kind of shows you too, if when you're cutting with your saw and you're not getting any chunks that you can look down and see there's a sliver of wood that's cut out, but it only looks like sawdust, that means your rakes are too high. So you need to get in there, and you need to buy this tool, and you need to get there and sharpen these file these rakes down for you. So I'll go through about 4 blades, and I'll set them down. I'll go through them all. Back you up here. I'll go through them all with this one side. When I get done with this one going all the way around it, I'll just set this chain aside, and I'll grab another one, and I'll sharpen all of them on that side. And then when I get done, all I have to do is, let me see if I can show you this closer. Hang with me. When I get done, see, I'm on 30 degrees right there. Then all I have to do is, underneath the bottom here there's a knob, and you loosen this knob up, and you flip this around this way, and then this saw position here does not change at all. But what that does is that lets your bar that your chain's running in do 30 degrees in the other direction for the other slant of the other tooth. And then what I'll do is I'll hit all of those saw chains that I have there, and I'll get all them done on that side, and then I'll come back and do my rakes. So anyway, that's how I sharpen my chainsaws, and hope you enjoyed that. It's just one of those behind the scenes thing that you always got to do when you're cutting firewood or whatever. You got to maintain your equipment. God bless you, and thank you for coming with me here in my workshop, and thank you for watching my videos. Over 400 on subscriptions now, and you know, I've got over 100,000 views now, so it's all thanks to you guys. I really love and enjoy your videos that you're putting out too, and I watch them every evening, and I love your comments, so feel free to give me a comment. I really enjoy talking to you. So God bless you, and thank you for joining me here on the Kentucky Woodsman.